Yay. People. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to enable chat. If you guys can hear me, just chat something in chat window. Like, hello there. Yay, Terry is here. Is there Jenny? Excellent. Okay. So I think Lisa Larson, who's our customer support specialist, she's going to join us too in a little bit. But in the meantime, I want to give you guys the opportunity to come into the Hangout so that I can see your face and talk to you with your voice. And if necessary, you'll have the capacity to share your screen with me. And so what you need in order to do this, and it's not required, if you don't have all the stuff to make it happen, then you can just ask me questions via chat and we'll answer that way. But basically, you need a Google account, and then I invite you into the Hangout, and it will ask you to connect to your Google account. And then if you've never used Hangouts before, it'll take some time to initialize. Okay, it'll initialize your camera and your microphone. So it looks like Jenny can't do that, which is okay. That's not a problem. But Terry, do you want me to try to invite you into the Hangout? Are you still there, Terry? Okay. Well, we'll do a chat then with both of you. So how this works is we'll just take turns. You can each ask a question, really about anything. Anything that you're trying to accomplish with your web ministry, whether it relates directly to Aboundant or not. And I will take turns trying to answer questions as best as possible and to show you what I'm doing and to demonstrate it for you. And so, yeah, let me know what you're interested in doing and what your site is if you want me to actually look at it. And if you guys can't think of something that you would like to learn personally, I could always teach you something that I think is handy for church websites, for web ministries. Hi, Lisa. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. When you contact support, Lisa's the first person to get your notice. And then she tries to take care of it, and if not, she gets help. Okay, well, I can at least look at your site. And I'll tell you what, I'll even share my screen so that you guys can see. Screen 2. Let me copy. Let's see. Okay, your site looks pretty decent. It looks like that you've incorporated a lot of the stuff that comes with Launchpad, which is good. You've added your own pictures, and they all align, at least with these two, and they align in a strong grid, which is good. You have your footer down here, and it has the basic stuff. You have your Facebook page connected, and that looks correct. You're using the side menu, which is very modern. Up here, you have your contact information and your email, and you have your Facebook icon. And you have an Aboundant 10 account, so there's no news feeds or anything complex like that on your site. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so one thing I will say is up here where you have your slider, it'd be great if you actually put some kind of text on a slide, just kind of something to set the mood, like, you know, say something about yourself that might speak to people, like, come meet a friendly face, or, you know, experience worship at Salem, or you'll be welcomed here, something along those lines. And then what will happen is that text will make your slider actually take up the appropriate amount of space. There isn't very much of the images showing. And it's okay if to have more of the images showing. And it's fairly easy to put that text in. I'll show you guys. Okay, Jenny, I got your question. All right, so here's your full width slider. And you basically hit this. This is called a hamburger, by the way, this little 3-line thing. And then you see your 2 slides. And then your heading. We are a great church. Let's put that for now. And let's preview and just see if the things I said actually do. We're a great church. Okay. So obviously you want to say something less on the nose. But it did make a little bit more of the image, enough that you can get the sun in there. If you put a subheading, it would make even more of the image show up, and you could even put texts or buttons underneath that if you wanted to. And then you could have different text on each slide. Okay, so I'll undo that so that you can do it your own way. And it even gave the name of the slide, the name of that we gave the heading. Okay. Terry says, I'm getting along pretty well, but if I can get some feedback, that would be great. And Jenny just lets me know those were already there when I did this. Okay, so you haven't played around with them yet. Okay. Out of curiosity, if you want different pictures for your main slider, we actually have a site that's open to you guys that's called media.aboundant.com. And that has a lot of different images that you can use on your site. And they're categorized here. So if you want to do something related to sports ministry, it's kind of the wrong time of year for that. You can do those sorts of things. And they're in high quality. There are different sizes of them available. Full size background, a banner, a full width banner. This is probably what you would use for your slide. And then on some of them, we even have 2 more different choices that you can choose from. Aboundant.com, and you have to be logged in to get access to the images. Basically, when you find the image you want, you drill down until you get to the very place of it, and then you hit right click and hit choose save image as. You can save it on your desktop and then load it to your site. Okay, so I want to get back to Terry. What is your site? Can you remind me? It's Rhinebeck, right? But do you remember the address for it? Rhinebeck.aboundant.com or Rhinebeck? No. Let me know if you know, but in the meantime, I'll try to find it. Leave. Actually, I shouldn't have went out of Salem. Let me go back. Stay. Okay. Oh, too late. Oh, I guess I have it open here, so that's good. Okay. Okay, rhinebeck.umc.aboundant.com. Oh, according to this, Rhinebeck is spelled out. Are you sure it's RUMC? Yeah, let's see if this works. Oh, you guys chose the same thing. Okay. And I know, Terry, that you just started working on yours, that you just got your site up, so we won't hold you responsible for it maybe not being looking as good as you'd like yet. Okay, so you just learned about the slide images, so that should hopefully help you put those in. Let's talk about your menu over here for a second. So your menu, so some of this text is kind of jumbled up how you like. I wonder, have you found the place to basically manipulate this text to get it the way you want yet? And while waiting for you to answer, I'll just go ahead and go and show everybody where it's at. It's in the theme customizer. So if you're looking at your admin bar up top and you hover over your name, you can choose theme customizer, and that's this guy. The theme customizer allows you to make major changes to the overall site in one place and to see what it looks like. Oh, okay. So you do have a new one. All right. Thank you for correcting me. So it was supposed to be deleted. It might be deleted, Terry. It might actually be archived, which would allow me to see it, but wouldn't let other people see it. I'll check on that after I'm done here, okay? And there you are. So let me go back to your question, Terry, and see if I can, or did you have a question? Oh, just some general feedback? Okay. All right. So I guess the first thing that I would say is that I think that everything's a little bunched up. So a lot of people are worried about having all their information be, that's kind of an old newspaper term, meaning that you can see it all when the screen loads, just like you could top half of a newspaper. And that's not as important anymore as it used to be, mainly because most people access your site on your phone, on their phone. And on a phone, you can really easily thumb and scroll down on the page. And it's not quite going to line up with a feed anyway if you're using your phone. So let me show you guys kind of in the same place how to adjust your overall margins and tell you what I think is a good look. By the way, Terry, I will just right away, I'll just say that you've tried out a lot of stuff and you figured out how to use a whole bunch of different stuff on your site, which is impressive. And you got your calendar embedded using all kinds of different modules. You have a donate button, which goes to your payment processor. You have all kinds of stuff, which is great. I love it. Okay, so getting back to the theme customizer, if you were hovering over your church site name and you go to theme customizer, this is kind of the site-wide settings for your site. And if you go under general settings and then layout settings, you get kind of what you want for all the different margins and sections. And so at some point, Terry, you've changed these to 0. And so everything's kind of smushed up a little bit. And I will tell you about where I think these work the best. So so you have sections and you have rows. So rows are nested within sections. You always want some space between sections. Think of sections as groupings of like information. And so if you have different types of information that relate to each other, you'll want to put them in the same section. And then you'll want them to be a natural space before you go to the next section. And then similarly, within sections, you'll have your rows. And you'll want a little bit of space there. And so this is generally about where I like it. You could probably do 2 in 1. And it's not perfect. I still don't like the outcomes of this. There's 1 in 1. But what you get, it's hard on the eyes to find information if everything's bunched together. So it's efficient in the fact that you can display a lot of information in a little place. And so it's good just to strike the balance between those two things. Okay. All right, I want to show you something else while I'm in here, and then we'll get to Jenny's question about a calendar. Jenny, while I'm still working on Terry's site, can you let me know if you already use a calendar system and what it is? Okay. So, Terry, I want to bring up your logo. So your logo has a lot of stuff going on in it. I would actually recommend that you have less stuff going on in it, but this information is important to you. I can tell this: love, know, grow, go, and you want to make sure that it's there. One of the ways that you could make it less busy is by making the menu background also white, so that you don't see these very confined borders. And the way that you would do that is you would go to header and navigation. This is your primary menu blocking about. And then the background color. And you would choose white. So you might be saying to me, Will, well, that makes my site kind of boring. Yeah, Terry, so if you hover over your name at the top in the admin bar, which is the black bar that's at the top, you don't see it right now, but you will when I'm done in here. And then theme customizer is the name of this feature. You can also get to it from your dashboard, from appearance and then theme customizer. Oh, Terry, I guess that's that question. Okay, I'll go back through and I'll show you guys again. The second thing, Terry, is max height is at 100 pixels. is it less? I actually wonder. Right, okay. So we want to make this so that it's readable still. So in my mind, this is a lot less cluttered than what you had before, even though you don't have that cool blue color behind your menu. You could actually add that background color to this section, that light blue color, if you wanted. And then you'd still have kind of a contrast between your menu, if you like that. Oh, Terry, you can't hear me? Okay, Jenny found the section. Yeah, Terry, I'm still here. My microphone is working. You can try to leave the webinar and come back in, Terry, and see if that helps with your audio. Lost me? Okay. Well, I guess I should give you guys a disclaimer that Waverly has been underwater, and it's made all of our services, including internet, a little bit iffy. Terry, can you hear me again? Kind of curious. Oh, okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Terry? Maybe I should do it this way. I'm not sure you can.
I can hear you.
Lisa can hear me. That's good. I'm not sure Terry can, though. Okay, excellent. All right. Terry, do you like the way this looks? Do you want me to save this? Or do you want me to cancel out of it? To take a shot at it on your own? I'll show you guys. It's another site. So let me go back to, okay. So this is how you get to your theme customizer from the admin bar. It's not the only way to get to it. You hover over your name, and then you go down to theme customizer. Terry, say yes one more time if you want me to save this stuff. Nah, I'll cancel out of it. Okay. All right. So I've saved. I'm gonna go out of this. I have some more ideas for your site here, but let me answer Jenny's question and about getting the calendar. So Jenny, say you're an Aboundant 10 subscriber, which doesn't come with our calendar, which we of course think is the best calendar, and it's one of the reasons people pay for our advanced service. However, you do not have to have the advanced calendar. There are other calendar solutions out there, and we are completely fine if you want to integrate them into your website. And so one of the easiest ones to use, the Google Calendar, which is this. This is a Google Calendar in list form. You can also have a Google Calendar in calendar form. I'm wondering if you have that, Terry. It doesn't look like you do yet either, but you figured out how to do this, so I'm assuming you could figure out how to do the other. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. Let me get back to your Salem. Okay, so say you want to add a calendar to your site, and so you're gonna probably want a page to put it on. So I'm gonna hit New Page, and we'll call it Events Calendar, and then you'll have to subscribe if you wanted to use the Google Calendar, and that's probably the easiest. You have to subscribe to Google. Church, make an account for your church. So, you know, like yourchurch@google.com. And then, so I use Google Calendar for productivity. So here's a whole bunch of my calendars. And you can create different calendars. You can create calendars that you want people to see and calendars that you don't want people to see. So you can have an office calendar and you can have a public calendar if you want. And that way you can manage things that are behind the scenes that you don't want the public to know about, and you can manage things that you do want the public to know about. And try to figure out all the Google Calendar stuff on your own. And if you can't, come back and I'll give you a walk through it. Okay, and so basically when you want to share a calendar, you'll see all your Google Calendars here, and you click on this down arrow. And I think this is the right place. Let's see. Share this calendar. No, it's under settings. My calendar settings. I've done this a million times, by the way, but I have forgotten where the place is for it. No. All right, I'm gonna Google it real fast. Here's the support page for it. I will share that with you guys. How about that? Okay. Oh, you have to do the top settings, calendar. Cancel. Up here. You know, that got me basically to the same place I was. Click the name of the calendar you want to embed. Oh, okay. So I did that. In the embed this calendar section, oh, it's right here. Okay. It was right in front of me. I looked past it like 3 times. Okay, so it gives you this fancy iframe code, and there you can customize it. You can click on this link and do a lot of customizations, and you might want to. I mean, you can make the calendar look to fit into your site some more. You can change the size so it's the right size for your site. See, currently the width is 800, but your sites are actually either 1200 pixels wide or 1170 pixels wide. And I will confirm. Oh, okay. Let's take a look at Salem's and see how wide it is. So I have a little calendar widget, or calendar widget. I have a little ruler extension, which is completely different, for my internet browser, and it lets me tell how wide things are. And so this is the space we want, which is actually 1080. And so, you know, we might not want a 900 pixel calendar. We might want a 1080 pixel calendar. And I know coding, so I'm going to manually do it, but you could do it in here, customize the color, size, and options. And then you take this code and you copy it. Lisa asked where I got the ruler extensions. So I use Chrome, and you could just Google Chrome extensions, and it'll take you to this while you're in Chrome, and it'll take you to the place where you can find all the extensions. Or you can go to settings, and then in settings there's extensions, and there's a link on the bottom that says get more extensions. Here, extensions, and at the very bottom, get more extensions. I'm gonna blow my nose super fast. Hold on. Okay. And then the get more extensions gives you sometimes gives you some handy stuff that you can use. And the ruler is the extension. So I search for ruler, and you get all kinds of choices. And this is one of the ones that I've used. All right. Anyway, getting back to the calendar. So I've copied this code, and I have an add new page up for Salem that I'm calling events calendar, and I want to copy that code into my page. And so you have two options. You can go to this little text tab. So you're in the visual tab, but you can go to text and you could copy it here. If you want to use the page builder has a handy dandy little module for this. It's called the code. And so here's the code module. And then I just put in my iframe. And then let's preview and see what it looks like. So now you have a calendar on a page. But it's my calendar, so we won't leave it there. Unless you want to know everything that I'm doing. But I will leave the page up for you, Jenny, so that you have it. It won't be in your menu yet until you put it on your menu, which you have to do separately, but you'll be able to find it in your pages. Any questions about that for both of you guys? Okay, I want to go back to Terry's site. Okay, so you have this coming soon banner. I'm guessing that's for the site. The site is coming soon, so if you send people to it now, you want them to know. Man, see, that's too small. Terry, you can go back in where I did that, and you can play around with it and get it to right where you want it. It didn't quite save the way I saw it in the customizer, and I'm assuming that you'd like it to be smaller. Although when the page first loads, it's this size. So at least then people will see it. Okay, so one of the interesting things, I'm going to show you guys how to use the customizer a little bit to create full width stuff, because this is nice, but if it's going to go that far out, it might as well take up the whole page, right? And not have these white dividers on the end. And so let's go back into edit the home page. And you are logged in. Can I take over the page from you, Terry? Is that okay? I'll wait until you say yes, because I don't want to undo any work that you're doing. And you could just save first and then tell me it's okay to take it over. I guess while I'm waiting to hear that from you guys, I'll give you a little preview of what you're going to get when the new Divi comes out. It's actually already out. But we don't install software on our system until we know it's stable, and so it's just been too new. We're still testing it out. But when you get it, you're going to get this thing called Enable Visual Editor. It's the visual editor for Divi, and for the first time, you're actually just going to be able to make changes on the front side of your website. So it's kind of, we call this a front end page builder, or WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And so now anything that I could edit on the back end, I can now edit on the front end, which is great. I can drag and drop and move stuff around. I can add new sections. I can add new modules. And this is a page that I'm currently building for San Francisco Theological Seminary. And I've been using the front end page builder for about 90% of stuff. So it's really nice. And it's going to be a great addition, and it's going to make Aboundant one of the most advanced systems you can get on the market, if not the most advanced system. It's going to be better than Squarespace. It's going to be better than Wix and a lot of other competitors that we have. All right. Okay, so Terry says I can take over his page. Let's do that. And you didn't need to log out, Terry. You just needed to let me know it was okay. Take over the page. It'll only let one person make changes to a page at one time. That's just this kind of it protects the database and makes sure that you know what changes are getting taken. Okay, so here's this coming soon section. All right. The section settings. And man, there's so many different ways to do this. I think the way I'll do it in the row settings. So in the row settings, oh, you do make this row full width. Okay. Yeah, that's not really giving you what you want because it's only taking it so far and there's still white on the edges. Let's try something real fast. Let's try to make give the section a background color. And see if that fixes it. I don't think it will. But we'll try that, and then if not, I'll tell you how to make full width sections. Oh, it did actually. But yeah, it doesn't kind of match up. Okay. So what if you wanted to have that full width section and you wanted to have that image go all the way across? So what you want to do is you want to add a full width section. So you can add a full width section, a specialty section, or add from library. We want to do a full width section. It has its own types of modules. And the one that we could use to do this image is full width image. Now, the image that you're using, coming soon, was intended to be upcoming events. Yeah, Terry, I don't think it was clear enough. I think you'll probably want to work on the language. Plus, you really have the upcoming events you have below that. So, or is that the section header? So that's what you're saying. You're saying that that banner is the section header. For everything that's below it. Okay. It's, I think it's understandable. Yeah, don't do coming soon. I would use different words. I would say upcoming events. Here, let me show you. I'll show you how to make a full width section. It won't have this image in it, but let's not do the full width image. Let's instead do the full width header. And I can't spell upcoming. There are other options here. We're going to make it light. You could put buttons. You could put a background image with this. You can change the orientation of the text. So your current text is centered, so we'll make it centered. You can choose a background color. You can choose a background overlay color. So if you did have an image, you could overlay a color in front of it to kind of make your text stand out more. Okay, let's choose the blue color as the background color. You could put a logo image, which will appear in the center next to your text, and you can have other text down here, so like subtext. With header section in, and I go to preview changes. Oh my gosh, that's huge. Oh, because the other section is still there. Okay. All right. We can undo that. I deleted the section, but I can undo it. Do you like that better? The text isn't as big, but I can do that too. So full width header, advanced title font size. Can make it 42 pixels instead of 30. Upcoming events. Don't like all the space. I'm going way too fast for you guys. If you don't like all the space on the top and bottom, there's a way to get rid of that space. Currently, that space has both margins and it has padding and it has margins. So it's kind of hard to explain. This might help. I don't know. This might just complicate things more. Oh, you're not going to see it. Okay. So padding is the space that's around what's in an element, but still inside the box of the element. And margin is the space on the outside of that box. And you have both with this. So that's kind of an advanced thing. You don't need to remember that, but know that it's adjustable in Divi. And the one that I usually like to adjust is the padding. And so we can take off some of this space at the top and the bottom of this by adjusting the padding. And so this is the section that we're on. You can adjust the padding in both the full width header and in the section. Both of them have their own padding. Let's just adjust the padding for the main section. It's right down here, custom padding. And so I'm going to do top 0, bottom 0, and then we're going to see what it looks like. Wow, that made all of like a 5 pixel difference. It is smaller, but not by very much. When I changed the site-wide settings for section heights earlier, that's one of the things that made this bigger, although I don't necessarily think it's too big. Okay, let's change it. We'll change the padding here too, which is, I think it's in the advanced tab. Oh, no padding option. No. Take the font back down to 30. That made it a little smaller. I'll let you play around with it, Terry, and decide what you want to do. You could actually take an image from our media site and set it kind of as a textured background behind this. We just added a whole bunch of images that are just good for backgrounds. They're these guys. So that's an option if you wanted to make it more special than just having the text. Although sometimes, you know, that's the way you want it. Okay, so let me up this back to 40. Okay. Calendar still loading. This is one of the problems of embedding a Google Calendar, is it actually slows down the speed of your site. And that's one of the reasons why we offer Aboundant Premium, is because the calendar loads with the site instead of trying to pull it in from Google. It might not be a big issue for you, but if you're really disappointed with your site load times, that's probably going to be one of the slowest loading things on the site. Here's your to look like. Okay, you want me to go ahead and save this, Terry? It sounds like you do. All right, Jenny, have you thought of anything that you'd like to know about while we've been doing all this? What's going to be the best way to? So if I were working on your page, and let's view it again. And this is, I'm just kind of finishing up with Terry. And I wanted to adjust the padding, and there wasn't an option in Divi to do what I wanted to. You can see I'm using Google to inspect the margins that exist there. You don't necessarily need to know how to do any of this, but basically you can get a visual look of what's making all the margins. No. Yeah, so here's the section level, and it doesn't have any margins, but but this does. Let me show you an advanced thing. Uh-oh, you're back in again. Let me read Jenny's question. Wondering where the best place is to put a staff page would be. Yeah, under About would be the best place to put a staff page. That's generally where you would have it. And there's a module that you can use to put in the people on your staff page. It's called the people module. It has kind of one quirk. It's better if you use square images for the people instead of narrow ones like we normally do. And so if you have a regular image, you can cut off parts of it to make it square. That's the only thing I'll say about it. I'll show you what it looks like. By the way, you can look at these demo sites at any time to try to get ideas for things that you can do with your sites. But we call it, instead of calling it staff, we put leadership. That's if you have like volunteers that you want to promote in your directory. You can, if you call them leaders, oh, I forgot. Everything's on the original demo page. Okay. So here's an example of the person module. And I think I've actually manipulated this better to work with rectangular images, but I'll just give you the hint that it's better with square images. So if you just cut off, did something like that, and try to keep the images for all your staff people the same size. And if you want a tutorial on how to edit images, we can do that anytime that you come. I can show you that. I've done it before. If you put these in columns, they'll actually look pretty decent. The information will go underneath the pictures. I guess here's kind of what it'll look if you do. So if you have more than 3 staff people and you want to put it in 3 columns or 4 columns, 2 columns doesn't tend to work as well, but you know, I'll let you guys play around with it. I'll show you one that I did. This site is in soft launch. I think this is maybe the coolest site that I've ever made. This is Desert Southwest Conference of the United Methodist Church. It's their site. And they have a staff directory. And this is using the people module. So I kind of gave it a custom look. And they're all using squares. Squares work better. Just stuff you can do on that page in Divi. All right, let me go back. I'm going to take over Ryan Beck's homepage again. I would usually, if there wasn't a setting, Terry, to change what I wanted with those margins, I would probably hard code it in, but that, I don't want to, there probably is a better way to do it. You shouldn't have to use an image if you don't want to. That's not necessarily the best solution. Man, that full width header, that's the only one that's good for full width. All right. I'm going to recommend something different. So before, you had an image that went this far. And there are a couple of reasons why I didn't think that that was a good idea. On a website, you want a strong grid. You want all the stuff to line up as much as possible. And the reason why you want it to line up is because it makes information easy to digest, to scan down through the page. Everything is ordered. And so you have some things that are full screen and some sections that you turned into full screen and some that you haven't. And I think that if you're going to do full screen, it should kind of look how your footer looks, where it has a different color that goes all the way across. But if it's kind of contained in the center of your page, I think it should probably all line up. And so let me just adjust some of these. Okay, there isn't an option with that one. And then instead of using a full width header, I'll just use a normal size section with a normal text module. I could not spell upcoming. Real quick, this little button here is called the bar button. It gives you all these options down here, which are always useful. And once you turn it on, it will stay on in everything that you use when you're in these text boxes. Right now, I'm going to use it to choose a predefined style. Let's choose the heading 2 style and see if that's big enough. Light. And background color. Preview. So I just done a crap ton of changes. Oh. So much better. So now look, there's a strong line that goes all throughout your data, top to bottom, almost all the way through the top, except you're using the full width menu, which with all your menu items, that's a good choice. Stick with that. So it's interesting that, oh, I know what, okay. Actually, I'm not sure that this needs to go all the way to the side. I think it should also line up with this strong line that we've created. So I'm gonna do that. And so what I did wrong is I put the background color in the wrong place. I put it on the section. I put it here. That's not where we want it. We want it on the text box itself. Background color. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, it's thinking. Oh, I got it. The other one, sometimes when you take background color off a section, it doesn't work the first time. See, it didn't actually clear. Let me, okay, let's see if it did it that time. Arg. Hopefully they fix this with the new version of Divi. All right, I'll make it white for now. Ugh. Now there's no margin on it. I'm just checking. You guys don't need to know what I'm doing right now. I'm just checking all the paddings to make sure that they're not set. Okay. I just set padding around this text box so that it wouldn't be so narrow. All right, now you have a nice strong line that goes all the way up here from your phone down through here through the bottom of your site. And I think that's actually a good idea. I only think you should make a full width section if you're actually going to have an image or something that takes up the entire full width. And it needs to be for effect. And the best place to do that is usually at the top if you're going to do it at all. And so the way you had it at the top was full width, which went out to about here. And it left some of this white space. You actually created extra lines on your page and it wasn't as strong of a grid. Are there any questions about any of that? Do you like it, Terry? If you like it, I'll save it. And you'll see as you're looking through this, there are other places where you could add a stronger grid. You could play around with settings like this doesn't quite line up. You could play around with that. You could see that in here you're in thirds, but here you're 3/4 and 1/4. You can make it thirds all down through. Or you can make it into quarters so that the line went through your site right there. Okay, save it. Okay. Well, we're at the end of our time. I really appreciate that both of you came today. If you actually want to come into the call so that we can talk, and then you could show me things on your screen if you wanted to. Get your Google account set up and then try out Google Hangouts and install Google Hangouts on your web browser. There's an extension for that. If you just go to hangouts.google.com, let me I'll show you guys. Here's the link for that. It'll help you get it set up. And then you'll be all ready for that. Or we could continue just talking like we are in text. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. And I hope I'll see you both again. Your sites are looking good. Keep coming back and figuring out how to do great Web3. It's so important. Blessings to you both, and I'll see you again later.